Thanks, Kent. Appreciate everyone being here today. Looking back on Saturday night's game at Alabama, certainly not the result or outcome we desired, but I definitely think we took a step forward as a team. There was a lot of progress made in some areas we spent a lot of time on last week. The offensive rebounding, Corey Chest, his first half performance on the glass was as good a half as I've seen as far as rebounding the basketball, especially on the offensive end where he got 9. I thought defensively we played with an energy and toughness, did a better job of limiting the three-point shot against that explosive Alabama offense. So a lot of progress made. All in all, at the end of the day, though, offensively, execution, poor shooting, third straight Saturday on the road against a top 15 team where we didn't shoot the ball near well enough from behind the three-point line. And while the turnover battle was even because of the 12 turnovers we were able to, or the 12 steals that we had in the game, still too many unforced errors that led to empty trips for us when you're trying to beat a top 5 team on their home floor. So I thought our players responded well. We had a really good practice this morning, and we're on to this great opportunity on Wednesday. As I told them, it's not every day you get to play against the number 1 team in the country on your home floor. Great respect for Auburn and the program Coach Pearl's built there, and we'll have 2 good days of prep going into Wednesday night's contest.
Yeah, I mean, just what do you think is going to go into you guys shooting the ball a little bit more efficiently from beyond the arc? Just a couple of things that you've pointed out.
Yeah, I think number 1 is confidence. I think when I guess the first thing I should say, Glenn, is there's great credit to the defenses that we faced in those 3 games, where I believe we've been around 24 to 25% from behind the three-point arc. Offensively, can we do a better job of creating some higher percentage threes? But overall, I don't know that we're going to overnight become an elite three-point shooting team, but I thought we took more predictable shots on Saturday night, which gave us an opportunity to get to the offensive glass. And I think that's got to be part of our formula as we move forward, getting those 17 offensive rebounds. One thing we both have talked about, like at Ole Miss, at A&M, the opponent's getting 12 and 14 more field goal attempts than us because of the offensive glass and the turnovers. In this game, we got 10 more field goal attempts in Alabama because we were able to neutralize the turnover margin and be very productive on the offensive glass. So I think it's got to be a combination of all of that.
Yeah, Coach, earlier this year you said, it can't just be Corey on the glass. Have you seen those others step up, especially going against Alabama and A&M in their rebound?
Well, Corey certainly stands out, getting 18 in a game. And that's what we need from him. And I'll get to your question, but I had really challenged him from an energy and a motor standpoint. And I thought he really stepped forward to the plate. He also blocked 3 shots. I thought he just flew around, was everywhere on the floor. He got to the rim, finished some plays, goes on the road and gets a double-double. But I still think, in the win over Arkansas, Damian got 10 rebounds. I think Trey Dez got 3 rebounds in his first 8 minutes of action, which is a phenomenal ratio. Derek has had some rebounding nights. Rob's been good on the offensive glass. He needs to take a step forward on the defensive glass. And then we still have to, as we've talked about, the guards. We have to rebound by committee as well, gang rebound with all 5.
We know Trey made his debut against Alabama last week. How does he contribute to the overall culture of the team, and how important is it having him on the team heading into this week's matchup?
I think it's a great question. I have such respect for what he's doing. He hasn't been in a single meeting, practice, workout since he got to LSU until a week after the bowl game. And so he's been a very quick learner. He wants to be really good. He's a great teammate. He brings tremendous energy to practice. I think you saw his ability on the defensive end to guard multiple positions on Saturday night. I mentioned his rebounding. the 3 rebounds in limited time. And then offensively, I think he can help us on the offensive glass. He didn't finish, but he had a really nice drive to the basket, and then he had, of course, the highlight play, the big-time block from 3 that led to the breakaway dunk. So he's putting in a lot of time. As I kind of flipped it on him, imagine if he went to the football field with no spring practice, no summer workouts, no fall camp, missed the first 6-7 games of the year, no position meetings, and then 3 days later be on the road playing at Alabama. I think it's really impressive, what he's been able to do in a short time.
You mentioned Damian earlier. Just what does he mean to this team defensively? We see him go up there and get those blocks, offensive rebounds. How important is he, especially in this matchup against a big physical Auburn team that puts up a lot of points as well?
Well, we talk about Damian a lot, once-in-a-generation athlete. Really, as I talked about admiring Trades and what he's doing. I think Damian has really battled through the shoulder injury he had in the game against Pittsburgh, and then suffered another one the day before we played Vanderbilt, and he just keeps coming back to work and fighting through it. We need him to be who he was against Arkansas from a rebounding and shot blocking presence, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks. But he's been really efficient scoring the ball around the goal. So we're trying to get him more opportunities for some of those lobs, some of those chances to finish around the goal. He has great touch, great skill level around the basket. So I think he's really settling into an offensive role for us, and we want to get him more opportunities to score. He missed an open 3 on Saturday, but I believe in his ability to step out and take a 3 as well.
Auburn has the most efficient offense in the entire country, and they also have a Player of the Year candidate in Janai Broome. What does this team have to do defensively to slow them down, especially Janai in at the post?
Well, you have to be disciplined. You also have to be disruptive. It's a tough assignment from the standpoint of they have such great balance. They shoot the ball exceptionally well from behind the three-point line with multiple weapons. Then they have arguably the best player in the country to this point in Janai Broome and his efficiency around the goal. And then it seems everyone plays their role. They get to the free throw line. They're on the offensive glass. They just, there's not just one thing you say you have to take away. So I think physicality, toughness, the ability to guard inside and out and defend their balance is certainly quite a challenge, but we'll have to be ready for all of those things.
I just had a different question for you. What is Keith Hornsby doing with you guys right now in terms of, helping out the team? And do you like kind of bringing back old players to get involved, and does that help the program?
Yeah, Keith's been awesome. One of the things I've really enjoyed about my time here is how many players come back in the summers that played at LSU that are now, whether it's in the NBA, the G League, or over in Europe, continuing their careers. They had such a great experience in their time here that they spend their summers here. Continuing their training, and Keith is one who has done that. He is not playing professionally right now, so as a former player, he's able to occasionally work out with the team, and what a great player he is. But it's more the opportunity to mentor some of our players and talk to him about what his journey's been about, both in college and now throughout his really successful professional career. But really enjoyed getting to know him and so many of the other former LSU greats here.
Just a couple of words from your opening remarks stood out to me, toughness and confidence. I guess just the confidence gained from, going toe-to-toe with a team like Alabama, knowing that you're going to face another one in Auburn, but just the ability to, I guess, kind of believe in yourself and maybe reach that next level. Is that the messaging this week?
Well, I think so, Mike. I think it has to be. Disappointed with where we are through the first third of the SEC standings. But we have to stay focused on continuing to get better, continuing to improve. You go back the last 3 games, the win over Arkansas, then you play 31 minutes even at top 15 A&M. You play to essentially 35 minutes of a one-possession game on the road at top 5 Alabama. So there should be some confidence taken from those performances, but then there also has to be great attention to detail and see where the areas of improvement have to take place to put together an entire 40 minutes. And so I think there's a balance there, but I think our players have the right mindset. We were in the gym early this morning. They've been to work every day. They understand where we have to get better to give ourselves better opportunities to win. But when you're not shooting the ball as well as you would like from three, all I know to do is get in the gym and shoot more and get your confidence and find ways to step up and make big shots in games. And so I think the mindset's where it needs to be. Now, how do we sustain some of these successful runs we've been on, but to do it for 40 minutes? And that has to be the goal as we move here into February.
Coach, what was the process for traders to get, I guess, ready to play, and will he be in the rotation moving forward, or is that to be determined?
To try and simplify it down, after the bowl game, where he had the great performance, he was off for a week to rest his body, his mind, get locked in and ready to go. And we started with individual work. Then that built to him going to the scout team. And then now in live practice over the last week and a half. And I think it's just a matter of trying to fast track learning. I think one thing that's really stood out where he's done a great job is his chemistry with the team. You wouldn't know that he hasn't been with us for the first 8 months. He's done a great job there. I think that immediately players respect how hard he works and what he brings to our team. So now it's really about the learning. And, basketball is not rocket science by any means, but you have different ball screen coverages. You have your out-of-bounds plays, side out-of-bounds, late game, zone offense. Man, there's just so many scenarios that are getting thrown at him in short order. And I think just with continued experience, he'll keep getting better and better.
I assume you don't want to go in, these players are going to this game just thinking giant killer mentality or something like that. What are the little, how do you want them to approach the game? Is it those little, some of the stats you mentioned, those little details? Is it trying to win, this bunch of minutes of the game and then the next bunch and the next? How do you want them to approach it?
Well, you have to prepare for Auburn and why they're really good. But if I look within first at our team, some of those things I talked about in the opening, we have to find a way to bring our turnovers down. Just too many empty trips there. I think the formula of, while not shooting as well from three, but getting on the offensive glass more is a way to steal some possessions for us. How can we get to the free throw line more? We're leading the league in percentage. We've shot it really well there, but we need to get to the line more. And then, three-point defense was really poor through the first 5 games. I thought it was our best job defending the three on Saturday. That'll have to continue going into the Auburn game, who shoots it exceptionally well from behind the arc also. So I think those are areas we focus on ourselves. And then against Auburn, they present so many problems because there's a great question. They are the #1 offense in the country, but they're also very disruptive defensively. They're one of the top 5 shot blocking teams in the country. So decision-making becomes really important. So it's, when you go through all this and you're not getting the final result that you would like here a third of the way through the season, you can't just, it's not just one thing that's leading to the loss. So it's, a culmination of things. How do we keep improving? I think when you get off to a slow start, your mindset and confidence becomes a huge part. And that's what I love to see on Saturday's game. I thought you saw LSU bodies diving on the floor for loose basketballs, chasing offensive rebounds, making a lot of toughness, extra effort type plays, and we need to continue that moving forward.
Coach, Corey had almost more rebounds in the first half than he did in the whole SEC coming in. He had foul trouble a couple of times, but what happened in some of his early SEC games, you think?
Well, I think really challenged him last week. And when you go back and look at whether it was the 13 rebounds in 21 minutes at Kansas State, you look at some of his double-doubles in December, I just thought the energy and the motor that he played with in those games was off the charts. And you get into SEC play, I think Corey's offensive rebounding is probably at the top of the other team's scouting report. So you got to take that energy and motor to another level if you want to continue to perform the way he was in December. And I thought you saw that on Saturday from the opening jump ball. He was everywhere, flying around, making plays, blocking shots, chasing rebounds, had some really nice finishes at the basket. And that's how he can continue to impact our team.
Victorious Miller, do you have an update on him and if he could be available for this game tomorrow? And then just how you think Mike Williams has done stepping up in some of those minutes with Victorious out?
Yeah, Glenn, Victorious had his first full contact practice this morning. I thought looked fairly effective. We'll come back again tomorrow morning and see how he is. As long as that practice goes as we would like, he would then be available for Wednesday's game. I thought Mike, especially that Arkansas game, the stability that he brought to the team on both ends of the floor, he hit a huge three, made big free throws, helped us beat press late in the game to hold off Arkansas there. The second piece of it is just hasn't shot the ball at the level we know he's capable of. So I think that's where selection and confidence become really important. He's a guy who shot 38% from behind the arc in league play last year, so he's proven he can do it. I think he just needs to see the ball go in and keep putting in the extra time outside of practice to get the confidence he needs going into game night.
Yeah, Coach, the progress y'all have made defensively, especially in the last 3 games, just where have you seen the biggest growth and what's been working?
I think physicality. It's the most physical league in the country. It's the most athletic league in the country, one of the oldest leagues in the country. So I think that was an adjustment we struggled with early. Still not where we need to be, but I think there's been progress there. I think there's been more toughness and physicality on the defensive end. You hold A&M in the 60s, hold Alabama down under their average. I think the commitment to team defense has been better. I think when there are times early in league play, our defense got too stretched, too spaced out on the floor, and that led to a lot of easy driving lanes, which then put us in rotations and led to poor three-point defense. So all in all, was pleased to see the improvement in those areas, but still a ways to go.
They say teams take on personalities of the head coach. Have you seen many coaches that coach as intensely as Bruce Pearl does, and how much does his team feed off of that, do you think?
Well, I think he's done a great job, not only from an X's and O's standpoint. Their player evaluation to get the right type of guys in the program that he enjoys coaching and thrives on, has been critical to their success. You look at like a Cardwell, the energy and the passion he plays with, Chad Baker-Mazar, the energy and passion they play with, I think, is a great credit to him and the culture that they've built there at Auburn.
Cam Carter has just been outstanding for y'all this season, and I'm sure that's probably who they're going to target the most. How do you put him in positions to keep making plays and keep pulling in those numbers that he has been this season?
Yeah, I think our forwards have done a great job of screening for Cam. He's seeing a lot of different coverages off the ball when we're trying to run different staggers or pin downs to try and get him freed up. I think our front court is really starting to understand what those screening angles look like, and then when we do create dribble drive opportunities, whether it's been Jordan Sears or Jai Bailey, looking for him on some of those kick out three-point opportunities has been good for us. We need Cam to be more efficient than he was on Saturday. He's 7 of 19, so we got him some good looks. I look back at like the Arkansas game at home where he had 27 points. It only took him 15 shots to do so because he got high-quality shots. He also got to the free throw line 10 times. Would like to see him be able to get there more often as he did in that Arkansas game. But learning for him being the #1 guy on the scouting report and how you have to handle that and have solutions for the different coverages you're seeing. I think he's making progress there, and he'll continue to get better with the experience moving forward.
You mentioned what Bruce Pearl's been able to do at Auburn. He rebuilt the program after being irrelevant for years. Is there something you can learn from that and to take it to this team and kind of tell the guys that, hey, this is something we can do too. This is what we're building to. It's possible to go from bottom of the league to very top.
Yeah, I think so. I think Coach Pearl's done it at multiple places, so he has a proven track record with that. I believe he was 26-40 the first 2 years at Auburn, but stayed committed to his process, recruited at an elite level, and now has built one of the nation's top programs. So, I think having a culture, having a standard of performance, a process that you go through on a daily basis, and I'm sure that a lot of hard work went into what they've built there, not just the required time for practice, the commitment to player development, living in the gym, putting in the extra work that winning requires at this level. So I think you're always trying to study the successful programs and how they were able to get there and take what you can from each of them.
I noticed that Jalen Reed was in Alabama with you guys, and obviously he's traveling with the team. I guess even though he's not playing, what kind of leadership or what kind of, I guess, voices does he have still with the team?
Jalen Reed, awesome young man. Hate that he's going through this, but he's handling it with just a tremendous mindset. He's really focused on getting better every day. He's making great progress in his rehab. He understands the assignment of what his goals, dreams, and aspirations are, despite this setback. So I've been really proud of the way he's handled it. I think his experience in the league, he's able to share some things from these opponents that he's seen over the last 2 years. But it's great having him around. He's really putting in the work. He still has a long road ahead, but I think he's in the right mindset, and I'm excited about his return as you look at next season. All right, thank y'all so much.